hey, 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 how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm Rosemary on Unite, just in case you don't know, for some strange reason, basically. And I'm pretty dang excited about Clear, Focus, Productive. Are you in yet? Are you in yet? Are you in yet? And you in yet? Are you that person who is ready for an immersion in a whole different way of doing things, honey? Because the same result actions you've been taking to get you here will not get you to your next level, whatever that next level is for you. So, this particularly, anyway, but before I go on to talking about what we're talking about here, which is how you can create wealth, because what I do know is about this community is that for some of y'all, you kind of know that you can create wealth, doing the work that you've always done, doing things the way you've been told to do it, but there's a part of you that has always dreamt, just like I used to dream, okay? I used to have these big ideas, big dreams, and I put the link in there for Clear, Focus, Productive, because I am really, truly excited about that. But, hey Toto, how you doing? And thanks for sharing. But for some of y'all, you do want to create wealth, okay? Doing things your own way. So not just doing it in a job, not just doing the same old stuff that you've been doing forever, because you know there's a cap on it and you know you're worth more than a cap. Come on now. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it, basically. Well, not everybody knows it, obviously. Thank you, whoever that is, I think it's Toto as well. We know that we're born for more, okay? There's just this hunger, there's something inside of us that keeps, saying, there's more than this. I'm sorry, I'm just sharing this, which is why I'm looking down. But I wanted to talk about, so even if you don't, this is it. I want to talk about how you can create wealth, okay? Before I talk about that though, I'm sorry, I have a few distracted things on my mind, which is, today, I've faced both the awesomeness of humanity, the awesome things that humans can do. And when I'm faced by that, I'm reminded again and again why I'm committed to this mission. This mission of supporting, in fact, I wrote a post about it this morning, financial empowerment for all, okay? That is my big thing, because I just see too many people trapped in a place of not being able to live a free life, okay? Not being able to live freely. And so therefore, they're limited. And it doesn't have to be that way. I don't think it has to be that way. Say hi. Thanks for sharing, but tell me, I want to know who you are, so say hello. Say hello. And I'm going to be talking you through what I consider to be, there's three particular things that I want to talk you through today to help you create wealth doing things your way, okay? There are three things that I think are quite important. Okay, now, some of you would have heard me talk about the 3 C's. And those are important as well, but that's not necessarily what I'm about to talk about right now. But let me just share this around the place, and then I will be with you properly. And we'll probably sing an affirmation, because I like to sing, as we know. So, hello, how you doing? So we'll probably sing an affirmation so you can go away with that ringing in your ears, so that it's not just listening to me and then you forget about it. I like to leave you with a catchy tune. At least I call them catchy tunes. I like to leave you with a catchy tune that will help you to remember what we've just talked about, okay? Because you know what? You're going to go into your normal life. I will sing for everyone, not for you specifically, but I do want you to take the song with you, Toto, okay? Actually, I've forgotten who I've shared it with now. But I do want you to go away with something from these live streams that I do. It's not just about, you listening to me and me laughing my head off for no apparent reason. It's also about you taking some stuff away from here. And I know one way to kind of catch you is to make you start singing a song that you can't seem to get out of your head, basically. So if I can do that, if I can infect you, I used to be one of my what's the word, nicknames was Contagious. They used to call me Rosemary Contagious, because I infect people with my craziness. Basically, come into my world for even a little bit, you don't leave the same, okay? So that's the idea. So I want to infect you with my song, my little affirmation, just a little affirmation, which is, I can create wealth. Yes, I can. That's it. I just want you to sing that over and over in your head, and I'm going to tell you what the tune is in a minute. Let me just do this, and then we'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about the three things that I kind of want to bring to you to consider in your quest for creating wealth, doing things your way, frankly. Okay, because I don't think you have to, I'm not saying it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, because one of the things is today, as I said, I came across humanity at its awesomeness, at its awesomest. People, you know, some people just kind of reached out to me in a way that just really made me want to cry with just how awesome these people were. And then on the other side, I got told a story of the really horribleness of humanity. And for most of us, we've seen both sides, okay? Some of us have seen the worst side of humanity even more. And so that can be incredibly horrifying, actually, because some of y'all live in really bad situations. And it could easily be soothed by a human being doing what they're supposed to do. But for whatever reason, sometimes human beings are horrible. That's the honest truth, frankly. Sometimes some human beings are just plain horrible. There is no way around it. Now, I kind of believe that generally most people are doing the best they know how to do with the resources they have available to them. But you know what? Sometimes there's just no explanation for some people's craziness. And that's just the truth. And so I've seen both sides, and I've heard stories of the horribleness of human nature, but I've also seen the awesomeness of human nature. And it's that side that makes me carry on. This side of seeing that, you know what, most people are not living quite to their potential yet. If they knew just how powerful they were, if you knew just how powerful you are, how different your life would be. How different your life would be. If you knew that you were always taken care of and you had nothing to fear, how different your life would be. Don't harangue me, I'll sing when I'm ready. If you knew who you were, how different your life would be. You wouldn't settle for any less. You wouldn't take nonsense from the crazies. And if we, as a community, as a people, start to stand in our power, we can start to speak against the crazies. Because there are crazies, okay? As much as I don't like to look at it, there are some people who really do need to be brought down a peg or two. I'm sorry, but it's the truth, isn't it? Not everybody's awesome. Deliberately. Some people are deliberately not awesome. Basically. In fact, and those people, unfortunately, sometimes know their power a lot more than you do. Than you, the spiritual person, you know, trying to be good. You don't always know your power as well as somebody who knows what they're capable of and just really uses their power for not so great, for evil. In some cases, that is the truth. Okay? And as I said, yes, I know human beings generally tend to do the best they know how to. But sometimes the best they know how to is just not that great. Let's be honest. I don't like to look at it, truth be told, because I don't want to dwell on such negativity. But it's there. And that is why the good-hearted must step up. That is why, because evil only prospers when good people do nothing, when they say nothing, when they pretend that they're helpless. You're not helpless. You're powerful, incredibly powerful. Okay, so yes, as Toto has requested. Let me see if I remember the song now, because sometimes I talk and then I forget what I'm supposed to be singing to you. Okay, so it's simply, I can create wealth. Yes, I can. Okay? I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yeah, I can create wealth, yes, I can. Simple, I want that stuck in your head. I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can. I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can. Now for some of you, trying to sing and hum that along to yourself, there's going to be a part of you that thinks, why am I so focused on making money? Maybe it's just evil, maybe it's just greedy. Handle that. Handle that. Money is just money. Money is just a thing. But when you don't have it, honey, it's more than just a thing. I'm trying to pretend that that you can just survive on just enough. That's not your lot in life. You are born for abundance. And freedom, it's helped when you have finances, when you have financial abundance. So don't pretend that you're not motivated by money, because the truth of the matter is that for most people who don't have that much money, Practically everything you do is controlled by how much money you have. Practically everything you do is controlled by how much money you have. In which case you are very motivated by money. You're just telling yourself that you're not. Your job that you wake up to and you think to yourself, oh, I hate this, but you go and do it. Why? Because you need the money. You want to travel first class, but no, you're going to stick yourself in some kind of really cheap, horrible flight because why? You don't have the money. Basically, you would like to buy ice cream for your child. You can't. Why? Because you can't find no money. So a lot of your choices then get determined by how much money you have. So yeah, actually money affects you a lot more than you like to say. So you can pretend that it doesn't, but it does. And you need to actually do something about it to actually get yourself out of that. And for some of you all, you have just enough. But then you would love to give to things. You would love to give to charity. You would love to take some of your time and go and invest it in building a well. But you can't. Why? Because if you stop working, the money stops coming and your just enough suddenly becomes broke. So again, you are impacted by money. The choices you make come down to money. And so yeah, you may say, no, money is not everything. No, it's not everything. We know that. But then a lot of your choices are being controlled by how much money you do or do not have. So honey, take it serious. I can create wealth. Affirm it to yourself. Let it become your reality. I can create wealth. And when I say wealth, a wealth that you're not worrying so much about everything. And it's as I said, it's not always an obvious worry. Some of you have found a nice balance where you just kind of have just enough and it's okay. But you still can't do some of the stuff that you would love to do. Some of the stuff that could impact a nation. Hola. Basically, so think about that, okay? But next time you're telling yourself money isn't everything. Yeah, I didn't say money is everything. But what is it stopping you from doing? Or what is it making you do that you'd rather not be doing? So yes, thinking about creating wealth you're on. As for me personally, I think... Well, hello again, Toto. For me personally, I think online business is definitely a pathway for a lot of people who you don't have the inventory and the capital for something offline, which is not to say that y'all can't do it, because there's always a way. If you're really serious about doing something, there is always a way to find a way to do it. Always. It's just not always easy. It's not always easy. But then, is your life currently easy? Possibly not. You've just kind of settled into it. This is you've settled into this lack of ease, but it's become comfortable because it's your comfortable disease or your comfortable uncomfortability, basically. And now I'm asking you to just own the fact that life isn't that comfortable anyway, so you may as well do the thing that you want to do and turn it from a chronic kind of pain where you just kind of put up with it forever to a temporary pain where any life is not easy. Yeah, well, there's definitely areas of life that are not easy ever. Or, well, different times, different things, different people, different issues, for sure. But then at the same time, there's certain pains that can be short-lived rather than forever, basically. It doesn't always have to be a struggle, unless you decide that it's always going to be a struggle. If you have that belief inside of you that life is supposed to always be a struggle, then you won't even try to do anything different. But you're here, so I have to assume that you're looking for something different. You're looking for something more. And I'm not trying to make you promises of, you're going to make 20 million in 3 seconds flat. No, you won't. I'm almost definite of it. Unless by some freaky design, either that or you have some kind of really crazy currency that £1 is equivalent to 20 million, basically, or something, in which case, hey, you might do. So, but for most people, that's not going to be the story, okay? And this is it. The 3 things anyway, because if not, I'll just keep rambling on about whatever comes to mind. The 3 things in order for you to create wealth. It depends on the country you live, the poor people and everything. Yeah, but you know what? Even in whatever country you live in, there's going to be people who are doing well, and there's going to be people that are not doing so well, and there's going to be people in the middle. And people are just people, though. Yeah, some people may have inherited their wealth. A lot of people haven't. A lot of people just decided not to look around and see what everybody else was doing. They decided to do their own thing. And it took courage. It took courage for most people For most people, that is the case. I know people like to think that most rich people, it came easy to them, or that they did something untowards, because yeah, you watch it on TV and it always seems as if the rich person is doing something evil. For most real people, no, it's because they offered an incredible amount of service to the world and did things that others were too scared to do. Yeah, Africa is a very poor country. I come from there. However, I also know that in there's people that are considerably more wealthy than people living in this country. I know that because I've lived in Africa, so I know for sure that yes, there are people that are very poor, but there are also people who are very wealthy, and not because of just corruption or anything like that, because they worked their socks off. They did things that normal people were too scared to do. That is generally the way of creating wealth, okay? Light and Khan, hi, how you doing? That is generally the way. There will be of course there's the crooks, definitely. But then the crooks, you know what, I lived in Africa, I had armed robbers coming around my house killing people. They were poor, and I know their motivation was simply that they probably were telling themselves that they were trying to feed their family. And they came around killing people in my house, basically. Hey Doreen, how you doing? So you know what? There's crooks who are poor and there's crooks who are rich. There's crooks everywhere. That's just a people problem. That's not a case of whether you have money or you don't have money. There's some people, because I know people that actually even come from Africa, expected a better life here, and actually their life in Africa was better than here. You don't see that on TV though. You only see the orphans who are, dying, basically. And I'm not diminishing that because it's real, but it's not all there is in Africa. It's not all there is in Africa at all. Anyway, 3 things. 3 things that you need to do in order to create wealth for yourself. And doing it your way. You know them. You might not do them all. And some of them you might even think are irrelevant. But they're not. And I would ask you this: if you're not quite where you want to be financially, then you need to change what you're doing, because you're obviously not doing something. So don't just listen to me and say, hey, I know all of that. You may know it. I've had people actually send me emails. You're not teaching anything new. I know all that. And I'm thinking, yeah, but are you doing it? Because I don't care what you know. If you're not doing it, you don't know. Basically. And yeah, in terms of them being hungry, if these are armed robbers coming around my house with guns because they're hungry, I'm sorry, but that's not an excuse. I don't care how poor you are. If you try to harm somebody else, no excuse. No excuse. Okay, and I know that some people get to the point of real desperation, but still no excuse though. People were killed in my household, okay? So no excuse. Somebody's father, somebody's mother killed. No excuse. Don't care. Basically. Okay, so 3 things. 3 things. But before we go into 3 things, let me lift your spirits a little bit, having just talked about people dying in my household. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. No, I try not to start sending blame anywhere, but however, if you go around killing people, you get what comes to you, man. You judge the way you live by the sword. You generally tend to die by the sword as well. So I think ultimately karma stroke fate just generally finds people one way or the other. So yeah, you better sing now. Anyway, moving on. 3 things. The first thing is a very obvious thing, okay? For most of you, that's the thing you're always looking for. You're looking for the tips, you're looking for the tricks, you're looking for the strategy, you're looking for the step-by-step plans. You're looking for okay, how do I create wealth? Okay, and I generally tend to tell people, what you need to do is ultimately, well, first and foremost, decide what it is that you're selling, right? Make sure that you actually align with it. Make sure it's something that you're actually interested in. Because if you're going to be working hard to sell something, to put something in front of people, make sure you believe in it. Make sure it's something that makes you feel good, because you know what? If you're going to do something that you don't like, you may as well go find yourself a job. It's easier. Okay? So if you're going to be in business, let it be for something that you actually enjoy doing. Okay? So number one thing is this: you need to communicate with people. People need to know who you are. People need to know what you're about. People need to know why they should care about what you have. People need to know how you can solve their problems. Because ultimately, if you solve enough people's problems, you will create wealth. Okay? You will create wealth. There's no doubt about it. I say to this all the time: the work always works. The more people you serve, the more money you make. That's just the way it is. It is that way. Okay? And you may look at some, people who have done some crazy stuff to create wealth. And the truth of the matter is that they were providing entertainment to somebody, and that is still a way of service. They may have been providing somebody with a dream that, so it's like you might think of con men. Unfortunately, Nigeria was well known for its fraud. Basically. But the truth is that they were still providing a service to people, even if that service was completely flawed. Okay? I'm not saying that we should all go do that, please. That's not what I'm saying, but I need you to understand that actually the only way you can create wealth is that you do something to serve somebody else. Now, that's something you do. I would like to think that we, as good-hearted people, as spiritual people, we are not going to do anything untowards. We're not going to do anything that we cannot stand in front of our mothers and say, "Yes, mother, your child has done this." Basically. We won't do any of that stuff. We'll leave all of that crazy stuff to anybody else, okay? But again, that's why we also must step up, because unfortunately sometimes that's not true in all cases, and in fact it's only true in a minority of cases, but then sometimes that minority can seem like the majority. So when normal, good people refuse to step into their role, then other people come and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and there's nobody there to tell them to stop, okay? So anyway, coming back to the point at hand here, you want to communicate, tell people what you're up to, you want to capture them, you want to put them on a mailing list, ask them nicely to come onto your mailing list so you can follow up with them. The fortune, as you know, is in the follow-up, okay? And I know this is very short, very quick, but really building a business comes down to people knowing about what you have to offer them and how it solves their problems. People knowing about you so they can trust you enough to actually buy the thing from you, particularly online where they can't come into your storefront, they can't touch you and feel you and all of that stuff. They need to know that you're an actual human being. It's like I love to get on the phone with people because then they know, and I get lots of people saying, "Oh my gosh, you're real." Yes, I am. I am a real person. I don't know what you think this is, basically. Ultimately. So there's a difference between building an online business and an offline business because of that, because there's not that presence. You can't walk into a shop and see someone like you could do in the offline world. So in the online world, it really comes down to your words. It comes down to you showing up. All of that stuff makes a huge difference to helping people trust that you actually care, okay? Rather than you're just trying to make a quick buck. So you do that, get people to know you, follow up with people, because not hardly anyone. It's like yesterday, actually, I was on Instagram and I saw a lady with some piano lessons or something. And I'm thinking, because I home educate my children, I'm thinking my children maybe could do with this. But then I was trying to sign up for something so that I could find her again. Could I find anything to sign up for? Nahi. I couldn't find anything to sign up for. And now I can't find her. I actually did think, you know what? I'm going to look at this again later on at home. What can I sign up for so at least I get something from her so I can find her website again? There was nothing to sign up for. There was no way for me to stay in touch with her. So now I don't know who she is. I don't know where to find her. I don't even remember her name. Gone. How many people is that happening to? Are you putting yourself out there in a way that people can follow up with you? Because this woman now has lost business. I don't know who she is. I don't know where to find her. And if I go looking, I might find somebody else and go and sign up for their list. And next thing I know, I'm giving them money. Why? Because she didn't create somewhere for herself to follow up with me. I was interested, but there was nothing to sign up for. I couldn't find anything to sign up for. So she can't follow up with me. She'll never know that I was looking at her stuff. She'll never know. And so she communicated, but she didn't capture. She didn't capture, and she definitely didn't close, because now I don't know where she is. Unless I happen to find her again on Instagram, That's it. And I was looking at lessons and thinking my children could really do with this. Let me get home, because I was in the car with my husband's driving, I'm looking at this stuff, I'm thinking, okay, then when I get home I'll really look at this, but let me sign up for something. Nothing there. So what of you? Do you have these things in place where somebody who wants to know about you, who may not be ready to buy right now, but you have provided a way for them to follow up with you, or for you to follow up with them, most importantly, especially online. If I was offline, I might have walked into her shop, so I might know where her shop was, but it's online. I don't know where she is. I've forgotten her name. I've forgotten everything. At least if it was offline, I might say, well, I was this place yesterday, so it must be there. But online, it could be anywhere. So these are simple things as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a creative. Okay, so you might think, oh, but I'm only trying to write books, I'm trying to do ministry and such. It's happening to you and you don't even know. So there you are, working very hard to get traffic to you, to get people's eyeballs on what you have to offer, but you're not providing a way for them to stick around. And so they go and they never come back because they don't know where to find you. And there's billions of websites out there. Billions of websites out there, I think there's billions. If not billions, then there's definitely millions. So I don't know where I'm going to find this woman. I might try and hunt her down, but you know what? Most people won't. I did actually even think of sending her a message yesterday and saying, where the heck is your lead magnet? Basically, I would like to sign up for something, but I don't know where you are. And there's nothing to sign up for, so I can't. So now you've lost my business because I will probably go away from your site and I won't find you. And that's exactly what has happened because lots of people are not ready to buy right now. So anyway, communicating, capturing, closing. Those are the physical actions you need to take. They're simple. Anyone can do them. Anyone can do them. But guess what? We're human beings. Though anyone can do them, most people don't do them. I know lots of people who have been in online business for years and they still don't have a lead magnet because they're trying to make it perfect. They're trying to get it absolutely right. In the time that it's taken them to do that, I've tested out at least 52. Basically, I've tested out at least 52 lead magnets. So there they are trying to get the one perfect one out in 2 years. And in that 2 years, I've tested between 52 and 100 and what was it? What is it? 52 weeks a year times 2, 104. I've tested between 52 and 104 lead magnets to find ones that work. And they are waiting to try one. And guess why? Because they're human beings and they want to control how they come across. They want everything to be perfect. They want it to work from day one. And so they don't even give themselves a day one because they're not sure that day one will work. And so therefore they don't give themselves a day one, which brings me to number 2. If you don't handle your internal business, you will not be able to do the external work. And you will think it's because you don't know how. You will think it's because you don't have the money. You will think it's because, I don't have the time. You will think it's because all kinds of things, it's the country that I live in. They don't encourage entrepreneurship where I live. Or you will tell yourself that it's, it's my color. It's because I'm black, man. Or it's because I'm white. Basically, or it's because I'm yellow. Who knows, basically. There will always be a reason. But it won't be any of those surface reasons, though you will tell yourself that it is. And you will believe it because you haven't done the internal work. There is external work that needs to be done, and it's simple to do. But the internal work, if you don't do that internal work, you will not be able to be consistent with the external work. So you will know, oh my gosh, it's so simple. I could do this. Why haven't I done this? And it will be because inside of you, there's all of the crazy stuff going on. In fact, let's sing a little bit before I carry on, because I want this stuck in your head. I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can, and again, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can. one that's stuck in your mind. Okay, so number two, as I was saying, is yes, because of the internal work, you may not do the external work. So there's all of this stuff that needs to be handled. It's like someone in the DM today was asking the question around, what if I don't feel able to charge people for my services? And a lot of spiritual people feel that way. They feel evil for asking for money in return for their services. And so they struggle with that. They try not to have to do that. They do all kinds of things to avoid having to ask for money. They communicate so well. They're present. They're doing all this stuff, but they're not asking for money because they feel wrong. They feel maybe I shouldn't. But if they were in a job doing something they didn't like, they wouldn't complain about getting paid for it because they see money as something evil to be only earned when you're doing something evil or when you're doing something you don't want to do. But the stuff that you love to do, you're somehow supposed to just do it for free. But no, it's not the truth. There's this internal stuff that needs to be handled so that you're free and easy to do the work consistently. Now, that's just one of the things, okay? Some of it for me, like I've mentioned to you guys before, about even just forgiving people. And that made a huge difference to what I allowed myself to create in my business. Because in forgiving someone, something, for whatever reason, it took off a limit from me. Probably I felt unworthy because I carried this anger and resentment at this person I felt I shouldn't be angry and resentful with, but I was, basically. And so then you start to feel unworthy. You feel like, well, if you are that evil and you are unwilling to forgive, especially if you're a good-hearted person, you won't allow yourself to create wealth because good people are not, evil people are not supposed to have good things. And if you think of yourself as unworthy, then you won't allow yourself to create wealth. You won't. You just won't. And again, you'll have all kinds of reasons why it's not working for you. But it won't be the real reason. Because most people don't actually spend that time looking to see what is going on. And sometimes it is also desperation around money. You want it so bad. You know how it is that you're trying to be in a relationship with someone and you need them too much. And so they run away because frankly, you're too needy. That can happen around money too. It's not physical, it's not a real thing. But generally you tend to repel anything you're too desperate about. And so there are tips and tricks around releasing that desperation so that you're not desperate. And the thing about desperation as well is that it clouds your judgment. It stifles your creativity. You're not able to do the things that you would normally have seen to do because you're so... And I was in that place for a long time. A long time I was in that place. I come from, armed robbers coming around killing people, basically. That made me quite scared around money, which doesn't help with creativity. Because I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's going to, I'm not protected if I have money. Then they'll come and get me again. And so then you're trying to give it away as quickly as you make it. And so then you have nothing to show for all the work that you're putting in there. And so when I say to you, the more people you serve, the more money you make, you're saying, but I serve lots of people and I'm still broke, man. It's because you're chasing the money away as quickly as it comes. I mean, I'm only talking about money here, but there's lots of other stuff as well, which around relationships, around your sexuality, around your spirituality as well, that have nothing to do with money. But those things as well, if they are blocked up or they're in some messy place, you don't have to be perfect to create an income, okay? So I'm not saying you're going to get to the place where everything is perfect and now I can be rich. Nah, it's not true. We all know some crazy, stupid people who are very wealthy. Because when it comes down to it, when it came to doing the work, they did the work. They didn't allow some of the stuff that affects a spiritual person. They didn't allow that stuff to get in their way. Whereas for us, we do. We make everything a function of whether we're good enough to earn more. It's like, sometimes it's a completely separate conversation, but we make it the same conversation. And whilst it's the same conversation for you, it will be a struggle for you to create wealth. So number two thing is that you need to do the internal work. Lots of people ignore the internal work. They're worried that if they look too deeply inside, they may not be able to close the door again, basically. Maybe you went through a really crazy, horrible situation and you don't want to look at that again because you're worried that if you open that door, you might not be able to close it. And so people would rather walk around life completely unself-aware just to be safe. But that safety keeps you away from your vision, keeps you away from being able to create wealth, doing the things that you would like to do. So number 2, as I say, is that you figure out your internal shit. Basically, or at least you be open to the parts of it that spirit brings your attention. You won't have to fix all of it just to make some money. No. You don't have to fix all of it. You just need to fix the things that come up. You need to sort them out. You actually need to deal with them so you can move forward. And again, I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. I want you singing that, okay? And the third thing is this. What will keep you regular? Regular, sounds like going to the loo. What will keep you regular working on the internal and the external stuff is getting yourself some support. For me, I've always been kind of self-aware-ish, being the operative word. I've always, kept a journal, written down my feelings and all of that kind of stuff, which isn't always completely useful because if you're just writing down your feelings, you're not actually dealing with them. That's still not useful. But I've been self-aware. I see my issues. And I'm a hard worker in the things that I enjoy. I'm a very lazy person when it comes to things that I do not want to do. Okay, you cannot make me do anything if I don't want to do it, ultimately. And so yes, I actually grew up being told that I was lazy, and I always actually even thought I was until I realized, no, I just don't want to do what you want me to do, and you can't make me. Okay, but so yes, when it comes to the things that I'm interested in, I'm a very hard worker. I'm also, as I said, self-aware. However, when I got serious about building a business, when I decided, okay, I'm done. I'm done with pretending to have it all together and not. I need help. So I got support. I immersed myself in a whole different way of thinking. Because I've come from from Africa. Spent a lot of time in Africa. I've seen a lot of poverty. My mom and my father and my mother, they tried to bring us out, bring us to a different level for sure. But there was still a lot of exposure to scarcity and lack. And I was immersed in that environment, immersed in, extended relatives or extended cousins, extended family who were very poor. And in fact, would come to our house and steal from us, which was just like very annoying because in my own house, I'm stealing back from people, which is kind of crazy. They steal from you, you go back and steal it back. Oh my gosh. And that was my life. Well, not all of my life. It wasn't all that bad, but there were those elements of it where it's like, oh my gosh, seriously. I look back and I smile. But I was immersed in an environment of scarcity. And then I joined a church that was also about scarcity and lack. And it was that became my norm. So even though I was a pharmacist, I was still, hey, Carol, lovely to see you here, honey. I was still in scarcity and lack. And so I had to immerse myself in a different way of thinking. That's through books, through things that I listened to, and through working with actual people so that I can ask actual questions about my actual concerns, basically. And so, yeah, I invested a heck of a lot of stuff or money in my growth and development, because I knew that I had invested a lot of time and money in scarcity and lack. If I was going to change things, I was going to have to invest a lot of my time and money in abundance, in believing I'm born for more, in being exposed to people who that is their norm, because that pulls me out of the norm of scarcity and lack when I suddenly see, oh my gosh, there are people who live differently from what I'm used to. It's always like that, isn't it, a little bit? So well, at least this happened with me, that I thought that the way things were in my family was the way it was in everybody's family. That so everybody went through the same stuff. But then you start to get older, you marry a man or you marry a girl or you just go into a relationship with somebody else with a different family. You go to their family and they do things completely different from the way you used to do things. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, you mean our way was not the only way? It's not. I love that about my family first. There's a recognition that, oh, the way we did things was not the only way to do things. It was just the way I had been immersed in, and I didn't realize that anybody lived differently from me. I really did think that everybody had gone through the same kind of stuff and felt exactly the same kind of way, but they didn't. Some people actually thought that they shouldn't struggle, that it's not normal. And that was alien to me. So I had to immerse myself in a different way of thinking. I had to have people pick up on the things that I said, and they'd say, why do you think that way? Why does it have to be that way? And I suddenly realized, actually, I don't know. I've just always assumed that it was that way. And then someone picks it up on you and you're like, oh, there's a different way of thinking. There's a different way of being, but this only happens when you immerse yourself in a different way. Because otherwise, you think your way is the only way. You don't know any better, basically. And so yes, number 3 here is that you need support. Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You think what you know is normal, but it might not be. It might be, but it might not be. But whilst you think it's normal, even if it's not, it becomes your normal. So if all around you, and since you were born, it's just been struggle and lack and horrible, then you just think that's the norm. You think that's normal. You don't even try to fight it because, well, it's normal, isn't it? No, it's not. It's just your normal. But you can change your normal. It's a choice you have, man. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. You suddenly realize it's normal. It can be normal for you to create wealth because you take yourself out of your regular environment and choose to put yourself in another environment where it's normal for you to create wealth. It's normal for you to create wealth doing the things that you would like to do rather than doing the things that you have to do, that you should do, that you must do, unless you will be ousted and made redundant, although actually sometimes that happens whether you like it or not, basically. But you have to immerse yourself in a whole different way of looking at the world, or else you keep getting what you've always gotten and you don't realize that there's a difference. And in fact, if anything, you see somebody else living differently, you kind of think that they did something untowards to get there. But that's just because it's outside the realms of your experience. But that doesn't mean that your experience is the only experience available. What if you could immerse yourself in a different way of thinking? Allow someone to pick up on your negative, well, is it negative? Sometimes it's not negative. Sometimes it's just limiting way of seeing the world. Because whilst you have that limiting way of seeing the world, you don't even know to fight for a different way. And that's the horrible key thing here. Some people trapped in poverty who really truly think that there is no other way. And so they don't even try to look for another way. Or they try for a little bit, and then the pull of the norm pulls them back. Next thing you know, they're back to their normal, which is poor. And they feel like, oh, but I tried, and that didn't work. No, you didn't try very hard. Because you're combating, you're fighting against years and years of conditioning. You need to recondition your mind. You need to reinvent yourself. You need to decide. It's like repenting, turning your back on what went before so you can create a new reality. Are you willing to do that? Most people are not, because it's kind of scary. You might end up losing friends. You might find that people think you're kind of crazy. You might think you're crazy as well. All of that starts to happen, and it gets scary. Because human beings don't like change. Naturally, you just want to stay comfortable in your little tribe. You want to belong to something. But what if when the thing you belong to you don't want any longer? It takes courage to step away from the tribe. Will you choose to have that courage? So those are the 3 things, guys. The external work, which I explained earlier. The internal work, which I explained some of earlier, because that is a big topic. And the support. The immersion in a different way of looking and thinking about the world so that you can, because one of the things when I'm working with clients, particularly my one-on-one clients, one of the things I'm trying to do first is get them to think like an entrepreneur. Because most people don't. They think like an employee, and they're trying to bring that thinking into the entrepreneurial world, and they wonder why they fail. Because, and it's not, anyway, failure only is a failure if you stop. If you stick at it long enough and you get support, because you could stick at doing the wrong thing forever and still not get anywhere. Telling yourself, I know what to do. No, you don't. You're not getting anywhere. Basically. But sometimes people get proud. They don't want to admit that they don't know what they don't know. And the truth is, they don't know what they don't know. That's the thing. Because they're in their little bubble and they think this is the way. Because yeah, if you think about business on its own, you buy low, sell high, you communicate, capture, close. Simple, straightforward. And yet, there's a way you can do it that keeps you bound up, and there's a way you do it that elevates you. How are you doing it? Are you telling yourself you know it all, but you're not moving forward at all? And it's just you in your bubble. You ask people around you who are all also struggling or in the same position as you, they don't know any better either. But they tell you with such confidence, and so you think they do. Or you listen to them even though you know better than that, really. But you don't want to, or maybe you've been hurt, or somebody deceived you once upon a time, or you felt that some coach or somebody took money from you and now you have nothing to show for it. Usually when people tell me that, I usually ask them a few questions and I realize, yeah, they worked it for about 1 week and thought, this isn't working. What do you mean? Or they wanted one-on-one attention for £7 or something, as though people's time isn't valuable. Anyway, those are the 3 things, guys. External work, internal work, support. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. So this is it. If you would implement all those 3, it's only a matter of time. I won't tell you it's going to happen in 3 weeks. I won't tell you it's going to happen in 3 minutes. For me, it took 18 months. It took 18 months from finally deciding, I don't know what I'm doing, let me get some help. So I got the external work, started working on my internal stuff, and started getting an immersion in a whole different way of seeing the world. And within 18 months, I was able to leave my completely replace my full-time income as a pharmacist. It took me 18 months. Some people it takes shorter, some people it takes longer. Doesn't matter. If you commit, you will win. That much I do know. I believe that success is guaranteed to anyone who will get on the narrow path. I like to call it the narrow path because not everybody wants to be on the narrow path and stay on the narrow path. If you will get on it, stay on it, no matter how many times you fall down, you would step right back up and keep walking, you will win. You will win. The quicker you step back up and keep walking, the quicker you win, basically, because we're not vampires, we don't have forever. But you will win. It is guaranteed. You are born to be successful. You are born to live in abundance. It is your natural state before life and all this craziness happened. And armed robbers coming to your house and shooting people. Basically, which I know is not everybody's experience, but it's definitely mine. So this is it. Will you choose to create wealth? Because right now you're going to be presented with an opportunity to immerse yourself for 30 days in a whole different way of thinking, of being, of acting, so that you start to take more powerful actions. Because let's be honest, you know right now, you're not quite living to the fullness of your potential. What could open the gates for you? What of an immersion in a different way of thinking, acting, and being? What of being told the true actions you need to take? But not just generic actions. Yes, you get the foundational knowledge, but then also you get to ask questions for your specific concern. What if you got answers for your specific concern in this group environment, this immersion experience? What if you started to, as you start speaking, as you start talking, as well as directed exercises around what is going on inside of you, so we can fix that stuff, or at least fix it enough for you to take solid action. Being in a group, being in an immersion experience where even as you're speaking this stuff, I can pick up, hey, why do you think that way? Because that way will keep you bound up. That way is not helping. What if we turn it around a little bit and think this way? Could that change things for you? As well as give you, because there are general things that I see quite regularly in this community. So there are certain exercises that will change your life literally for you to do. And they're simple. And yet, they're quite revelatory. And then, of course, there's the support itself, which I've already kind of mentioned already. And it's 30 days with me in a group. That's an intimate, small group where I can give you attention and I can tell you exactly what you need to do to move forward, give you the foundational stuff to get you moving forward towards your 5K online business. And also at the same time, giving you that personalized touch where you can ask your questions and get your specific answers for that 30-day period of immersion in a different way of thinking, of being, of acting. And that is what I'm putting together for you. And I see it as an opportunity for you. It's called clear, focused, productive. You want to be clear because there's a lot of distraction, a lot of overwhelm, a lot of stress around you, keeping you on the broad path like everybody else, all distracted and overwhelmed and stressed and, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just go and do that job that I hate and do it forever because, there's just too much. There's too much murkiness. People can't make clear decisions. But I want to immerse you in a different way of thinking, of being. Let's get focused. Focused on the goal. Focused on the vision. Focused. Instead of being pulled in so many different directions that you can't concentrate on doing the thing that you're here on this planet to do. Even though it calls you, even though you long for it. As I said, it calls me. I was thinking of Moana. Has anybody watched Moana, or is it just me and my daughter's thing? It calls me. And that's how it is. The call is like it calls you and you can't quite settle. But you do because, well, everybody else around you seems to be settled. But I'm saying, honey, you don't have to. Let's immerse you in a different situation. Let's immerse you in a different environment. Let's get you more productive than you've ever been, because the more people you serve, the more money you make. Now, being more productive doesn't mean working any harder than you are. It means making sure that the work you do in the time you have is the most effective work. But whilst you're not clear, whilst you're overwhelmed and stressed and all of this stuff, you spend your time doing all kinds of stuff that doesn't actually move you forward. And you don't know any better. And that's fine. Everybody starts there. But the ones that win don't stop there. You want to get out of the cycle of people complaining about government and banks and, oh, the color of my skin and this and that and the other. No, that can no longer be your story. You're not a victim of anything external. You're not a victim of anything you cannot control. You can take responsibility for you and decide, you know what, I'm not living in this environment any longer. I'm moving over here. And that is what clear, focused, productive is about. Giving you 30 days away from your regular, whatever it is, basically. 30 days, come with your A game, okay? This isn't, oh, let me just come and lurk and see what's happening. No, I really want you to win. I really want you to win. Maybe I want it too much, basically. Sometimes I think I own people's dreams more than they do and I have to back away. It's like, oh no, you know what? Fine, it's up to you. It's your dream. You want it. You have to want it more than I do. And if you come into that club or into that group, that intimate private group with intention of succeeding in your business, whether it's clients you're looking for or customers or recruits, or you have books, music, art that you want to put out into the world, I can help you do this online. But you have to come with your A game. I'm not going to do it for you, but I can help you do it. And I can help you do it a lot more efficiently than you would do it on your own. That's for sure. It's over a 30-day period, so honey, you need to be committed to 30 days of showing up every freaking day, okay? I need it to become your norm. Well, I don't need it to become your norm. You need it to become your norm. You need to take on new habits because success is a habit. In 30 days, you could change some of the things that you're doing completely and change it to actions that get you where you want to go. I think they say 21 days, isn't it, to change a habit? So I'm giving you an extra 9 so that you do get the support you need. So every day you'll be getting some kind of audio, video, whatever, and a quick thing that you need to do that day. I'm going to try and keep it as quick as possible. The truth is, you know what? We're building a business here, a long-term business that continues to make money for you. So I'm not going to promise you that it's going to always be easy peasy lemon squeezy. No, but then I can say this, your current existence is not always easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you know what? Why don't we actually work towards something you want rather than continuing to build something you don't want? Okay, let's use some of that energy for the thing you want your life to look like. Surely that makes sense, right? So I invite you to join me. We're starting on Friday. This is the lowest cost it will ever be again. And I've made it incredibly accessible because I've added some crazy low installments, okay? Crazy low installments. Even I'm slightly shocked at myself, basically. But I'm coming from a place of trusting you that you will follow through on what you've promised. Go and have a look. It's rosemarynoninnight.com/clear focus. And again, it's rosemarynoninnight.com/clear focus. Go right now, click on the button and join in. And some of y'all have been thinking and everything keeps passing you by and you keep, I should have done that. Stop it. Stop doing that to yourself. Choose to move now. Okay? I've forgotten our affirmation. Oh yes, it's back. So okay, there I am telling you guys to keep it in your mind and I'm losing it. What's going on? It's back. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to put it in the comments. Whenever you listen to this, just put it in the comments and I'll come back to it as soon as possible. Because chances are, if you have that question, lots of people have that question, okay? So ask anything you need to ask in order to make a decision, but make a decision to win, okay? This is an opportunity for you. It is an opportunity for you to create the wealth that you want to create, to get the support that you need, to get the internal work done and the external work done. So come on now. It's rosemarynoninnight.com/clear focus. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you and singing with you. And I hope you've got that stuck in your head. And if you've just joined, you need to listen to it so that it does get stuck in your head. I can create wealth. Yes, I can. Affirm that to yourself over and over again. Because you've been affirming to yourself that I can only get this much, and oh my goodness, I can't do this, and I can't, and that is affirmations except in the direction you don't want to go in. So let's change your tune. I can create wealth, I can create wealth, I can create wealth, yes, I can. That is step 1. There's deeper work to be done, but that's where you start. Okay, rosemarynoninnight.com/clear focus. It's been a pleasure. Tag somebody in or share it. If you know that there's people in your world that need to hear this stuff, please share it or tag someone in. Go over to rosemarynoninnight.com/clear focus. It's been a pleasure as always. It's time to fight for and to deliberately design the life you are born to live because you absolutely want to. I'm now going to have my dinner. In the UK, are you going to have yours? I hope so. I'm having fried rice with some chicken. That should be cool. Until the next time, honeys, much love. Speak to you soon, okay? Bye.